Titanfall is a franchise that needs no introduction. I've praised it many times on my channel before, and I continue to do so whenever I get the chance because I really do love it that much, and I really do think Titanfall 2 is the greatest first-person shooter ever made. With that being said, in this video, I want to bring you guys my personal wish list for everything I want to see brought into Titanfall 3, because if you ask me, I do think we're going to get the game. I just think we need to be patient for a little while longer. Let's do it. First things first, let's talk about the campaign. Now in Titanfall 3, I don't really want to see much change in the campaign gameplay or level design. In fact, one of Titanfall 2's strengths and what sets it apart from other shooters is its unique gameplay and level design, especially in the campaign. And at the end of the day, I feel like the only people who can really outdo Respawn is Respawn, so I trust they're going to deliver good gameplay and expand on the complex combat puzzles and leveling of Titanfall 2's campaign. But as far as the story aspect of Titanfall 3's campaign goes, there are some things I'd like to see. One of them being the search for BT. Now, if you still haven't played Titanfall 2's campaign, consider this your spoiler warning. Now, for those of us who have played it, we know that at the end of Titanfall 2's campaign, we see BT, who's been our Titan throughout the entire story, sacrifice himself for the good of our cause. But even though we see him pretty much explode at the end of the game, if you wait until the very end credits, there's an end credits scene that hints at BT still being alive. We see Jack Cooper's helmet's flash, indicating a signal being sent from BT, so I'd actually like to see them expand upon that. I want to see Jack Cooper looking for BT. I want to see him maybe now promoted because of everything that happened in Titanfall 2 and his whole performance throughout that campaign. I could definitely see Jack Cooper being maybe a commander now, or having at least some position of authority where he has a squadron of people under his command, and I would definitely love to see him and the squadron of people going out to look for BT while also doing the main missions throughout the game, whatever Respawn decides those will be. And maybe, just maybe, we could see good side characters as well within the squadron that will not only add to the overall plot of the game, but will also help with Jack Cooper's character development. Now, we've seen something like this work before, for example in Halo Reach, where you have the other side characters throughout the game that help add to the overall plot. It worked in Halo Reach, so I'm sure it would work in Titanfall as well. I would be really happy to see that be in Titanfall, because like I mentioned, it would also help with Jack Cooper's character development, but also the overall plot as a whole. Moving on from single player, let's talk about the multiplayer. One of the things I'd really love to see Titanfall 3 step up is the overall customization in multiplayer. Honestly, while what we do have in Titanfall 2 is good, and I'm happy with the options and the amount of options we have there, it just feels like for Titanfall 3, we can do a lot better, and we can get something a lot better in the long run. One of the things I'd love to see change in Titanfall 3 especially is the overall customization for pilots and Titans. Now, a system that I personally loved back in the day was Halo Reach's customization system. If you guys never played Halo Reach, or if you don't remember, Halo Reach had a really cool system where they would let you mix and match different pieces of armor and gear so you could create very, very unique looks. Dude, I remember spending hours in these menus of Halo Reach trying to get the perfect look down for my Spartan, and overall, I feel like this would be really cool to see in Titanfall 3, because not only would it give us another reason to grind the game, but it would also allow us to feel more connected to our pilots and our Titans, and I feel like it would just improve the overall experience. Speaking of Titans, though, another aspect of customization I'd like to see improved upon in Titanfall 3 is Titan loadouts. Now, in Titanfall 1, the Titan loadout system was so good. I don't know why that didn't carry over to Titanfall 2. What I loved about it in Titanfall 1 was that it really just felt a lot more open to the player. You had more options and you had more control over what you wanted to do. You could even change the voice of your Titan, which I think is so cool, and I don't know why that didn't come back into Titanfall 2. I feel like seeing a system like the one from Titanfall 1 maybe mixed with Titanfall 2's as well, because I know Titanfall 2 introduced more of like a perk-based system, but what I loved about Titanfall 1 system was that it just gave you more options. I mean, even down to the weapon, you could put attachments on your Titan weapon, you could change, like I mentioned, the Titan voice. Overall, I feel like if Respawn were to bring something like the Titanfall 1 system back, or maybe like I mentioned, a hybrid of Titanfall 1 and 2, I'd really like to see that, but Titan loadouts is definitely something else I'd love to see worked on in Titanfall 3. Next, I want to talk about weapons. Now, with weapons in Titanfall 3, to be honest, I don't really see Respawn doing too many changes, and I also wouldn't mind if they made very minimal changes. Now, with that being said, let me say this. In Titanfall 2, I do feel like the weapon attachment options we have, I feel like we should have more. So with that being said, in Titanfall 3, at the very least with weapons, obviously I expect new weapons to be added. That's totally up to Respawn. I can't give you guys weapons I'd like to see. I mean, I can't think of new weapons to be put into the game, but overall, what I would like to see is just more options for attachments. I feel like if Respawn would give us maybe attachment variants that we could unlock through gameplay only, or, you know, through credits as well, either through challenges or through credits, either way, through gameplay, I would love to see attachment variants be in Titanfall 3. But other than that, with weapon customization, I don't really want to see much change. But with camos, I would like to see a few things change. Here's the thing. In Titanfall 2, I like the camos that we have in the game. It just feels like, and again, I don't know if this was intentional or unintentional, but all the camos that are really good in that game are DLC camos. And I'm talking about like Blue Fade Elite, Crimson Fury, some of the most beautiful camos I've ever seen in a game, all DLC camos. And I would love to see camos like this that have more vibrance, a little bit more flair, a little bit more pop. I'd love to see more of those put in Titanfall 3. Don't get me wrong, I like the camo designs in Titanfall 2 and I like the patterns. It's just the colors that really set them off for me. A lot of the colors in Titanfall 2, they're very monotone, they're very repetitive with the camos, and it makes them overall feel pretty boring and pretty bland most of the time. Now, another thing I want to really touch on quickly is abilities in Titanfall 3. Now, these abilities, what I'm talking about is, you know, the abilities like we have in Titanfall 2, grapple, hover, cloak, etc. Honestly, I tried thinking of new ones that they could put in Titanfall 3, and I really couldn't think of any. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad if Respawn just decided to bring all the same ones from Titanfall 2 over to Titanfall 3, maybe with just 2 or 3 new abilities. I'm just going to leave this one up to them because, like I mentioned earlier in the video, only Respawn can outdo Respawn. But lastly, I want to talk about Frontier Defense. This is a mode that honestly I barely started really getting into maybe about a year ago, and I really have no complaints. I mean, Frontier Defense is literally just your classic Titanfall 2 chaos and fun with your friends. I mean, you have an objective, you have to protect the Harvester, and with David and with the other character whose name escapes me at the moment, who are side characters who just add to the, I guess, atmosphere of the the little plot that's going on in Frontier Defense. It's honestly a really fun mode, and I really have no complaints. But what I would like to see Respawn do with Frontier Defense in Titanfall 3, that is, if they decide to continue it, or if they decide to give us some other third mode, or if they decide to just scrap it all together, that'll be up to them. But I'd love to see them open this up to the community with a Forge type mode. Now, if you've played Halo before, you know what I'm talking about. But Forge in Halo is pretty much just what this thing that the developers of Halo opened up to the community. It's pretty much where you can make your own custom maps. You can custom make a map, and I'd love to see that be brought into Titanfall 3 with Frontier Defense. I feel like if Respawn were to open it up to the community and say, here are all the assets you need, we want to see what you guys can do, make a custom Frontier Defense maps, I think it'd be really cool. And even if they were to decide to bring some into the real game, that would be really cool. They could hold like community votes and community polls to see which maps to actually bring into the game, or they could hold internal voting sessions where they decide which maps to bring into the actual game. But overall, I feel like opening Frontier Defense up to the community like that would not only just make it better for everybody involved, but it would also bridge the gap between developer and community just a little bit more. But in conclusion, this has pretty much been everything I want to see brought into Titanfall 3 as of right now. Like I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, I do think we are going to get Titanfall 3 eventually. I just think we need to be really patient with Respawn. They haven't mentioned anything directly. They haven't said that they're not working on it. I mean, as of right now, to my knowledge, they are not working on Titanfall 3, but they haven't said that they're not going to. That's the key thing. So I do trust that eventually we will see this game come to fruition. We will see Titanfall 3 happen. I just think we need to be patient. But if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Please consider subscribing. My name's Nico. Thank you so much to everybody for watching this. You already know what to do. If you like it, leave a like. If you didn't, don't. Make sure to turn on the post notifications bell so you guys can actually get notified every time I upload a video, and make sure to hit the subscribe button. But with all that being said, thank you so much to everyone for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one. If you like what you just saw, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications, and feel free to follow me on Twitter and Twitch at Team Nico on both, where I will be streaming every Monday and Saturday from 2 to 4 in the afternoon Pacific Standard Time. I'm just going to be playing various games over there and just having a good time with anybody who can come hang out. But with that being said, now I will see all of you in the next one.